Vidhi. But vidhi means you perform a certain karma, and that generates what we call an adrushta or apurva. So niyoga also means apurva. Niyoga phalatvam kim na syat. Why not moksha be a product of apurva? That you do something here in terms of upasana, that it generates a certain unseen, incomprehensible effect, and that enables you to be in Vaikuntha. That's understandable also. So how this whole idea comes, if moksha is understood to be a condition, then it has to be created, because it is not there right now. Are you in Vaikuntha right now or some? No. And if you want to be there, then you must do something. And that moksha of that nature, why not that be in a product of this karma? Niyoga phalatvam kim na syat. That moksha suggests that why not it be created as a result of some apurva, some upasana that we have done. Iti, if this is in tatraha, then with reference to that, this being said in Bhashya ataha iti. Go to page 153. Ataha tad brahma yasya iyam jignasa prastuta. Ataha, therefore, tad brahma, that is indeed Brahma. Yasya iyam jignasa prastuta. Yasya, for which, iyam jignasa, this jignasa, prastuta, prastuta means is being discussed, has been introduced. Asato Brahma jignasa. So what is that Brahma? That Brahma alone is moksha. So the moksha that we are talking about alone is Brahman. So that which we are, for which jignasa has, is the subject matter here. That about which we are deliberating, namely Brahman, don't think that that Brahman is different from moksha. Brahman itself is moksha. Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva bhavati. Knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. Or Brahmavit apnoti param. Knower of Brahma attains limitless. Which means knowledge itself is attainment. And that can be only when already it is attained. Already, the knower is already Brahman, and then alone he can become Brahman. Which means knower is already free. So that freedom is none other than Brahman. So moksha also is Brahman, not separate from Brahman. It is true that moksha is knowledge of Brahman. But once Brahman is known, then what? Then you are Brahman. Then there is no knowledge also there, because that is just a fact that Brahman you are. And so being Brahman itself is moksha, not associated with Brahman. Moksha is not some kind of an association with Brahman. Moksha is being Brahman, meaning moksha is Brahman. So ultimately speaking, in moksha and Brahman also, there is no separation. That I am not associated with Brahman in some way, that I am part of it, etc. That I am that, and therefore, ataha tad Brahma. Tad here as first interpretation, that kaivalyam, that moksha itself is Brahman, which we are talking about. So when we talk about or deliberate upon Brahma, it also amounts to the deliberation upon moksha. So Brahman and moksha not being separate. And this vakya will become a subject of long discussion. Ataha tad Brahma yasyayam jignasa prastuta. What is tat? When sarvanama or pronouns are used, then they are subject to being interpreted according to the context. So tat will be generally used for something that is prasiddham, something that is prastutam. So that is this, or that is good. What is good? That about which we are talking, or that which is known to us. So that is Brahman. Now what is that? That must be something that is under discussion, or that must be something that is known to us. What are we discussing right now? We are discussing moksha. Paramarthikam kutastham nityam. Kaivalyam or moksha is being discussed. So tad kaivalyam brahmaiva. Now this also has to be imagined, that we are talking about, of course, the concept that moksha is not a product of karma or upasana. And that is a subject matter of discussion. So tat is here interpreted as kaivalyam. Kaivalyam means the state of being absolute. Kaivalyam also means the non-duality. Kaivalyam means limitlessness. Brahmaiva means moksha. Tat kaivalyam brahmaiva. That limitlessness, that freedom, that the fulfillment is none other than Brahman. Why is it so? Ataha karmaphala vilakshanatvād ityartha. So, yataha brahma karmaphala vilakshanam tataha tat kaivalyam brahmaiva. Karmaphala vilakshanatvād, because Brahman is separate from karmaphala, is quite distinct from karmaphala. There is no connection whatever with karmaphala. Says now Purnanandya, tat shabdasya kaivalyarthakatvam kathayan bhashyam yojayati. That tat shabda is here interpreted as kaivalyam and bhashyam yojayati tat kaivalyam brahmaiva. Atah shabdasamaha, bhashyakara ataha tad brahma. What is meant ataha? Ataha means therefore. So atah shabdasamaha karmaphala vilakshanatvād ityartha. Since it is different from the karmaphala, therefore that kaivalyam is Brahma indeed. Tathacha mokshasya na niyoga phalatvam iti parihararthaha. The idea is moksha is not niyoga phalam. Moksha is not a product of some apurva. Moksha is not a product of some upasana. Because moksha is indeed Brahman. And Brahman is that which is beyond dharma and adharma. And Brahma is that where the kalatraya or the three periods of time have no connection at all or no existence. In that case, moksha also is that where dharma and adharma are not there, or the three periods of time have no existence there. So moksha also is unrelated to apurva, or niyoga, meaning unrelated to karmaphala. Asmin vyakhyane, says Purnanandya, यत पूर्वोक्तम अशरीरत्व रूपम तत् कैवल्यम ब्रह्मैव इति यत पदम अध्याहृत्य भाष्यम योजनीयम. अशरीरम वावसंतम न प्रिया प्रेय स्पृशतः. So भाष्यकार said. So moksha is ashariratvam, being totally devoid of this embodiment. And sharira that includes gross, subtle and causal bodies. So atma is sula sukshma karana sharirat vyatiriktah, and that itself is kaivalyam or moksha. So, yat purvoktam ashariratva rupam. So, that which is being discussed as ashariratva rupam, meaning the freedom from embodiment or freedom from body, that kaivalyam indeed is brahmaiva iti. The word kaivalyam has not been used. What is being discussed here is ashariratvam earlier. But ashariratvam itself is kaivalyam or moksha, and that indeed is Brahma. Brahmaiva iti yat padam adhyahritya bhashyam yojaniyam. Yat kaivalyam tad brahma. Ataha tad brahma. Yat kaivalyam tad brahma. Yasyayam jignasa prastuta. So that which is kaivalyam is indeed Brahma. So yat shabda has to be supplied here. Tat shabda has been used by Bhashyakara, tad brahma. And so tat always has an expectation. Akanksha is there for yat. So yat kaivalyam tad brahma. So yat shabda must be supplied here to complete the sense of this statement. Yat padam adhyahritya bhashyam yojaniyam. That you must supply this word yat, and then the bhashya is understood there. That is how the yojana means anvaya. That's how the order will be, the vakya will be. Then they say, why do you do this? Ataha tad brahma yasya iyam jignasa prastuta. Yat and tat shabda both are supplied in that sentence. Look at page 153. Ataha tad brahma yasya iyam jignasa prastuta. So yasyayam jignasa prastuta tad brahma. That is a simple statement. Why do you have to bring that yat and from somewhere else? Says nacha yasya. Then what? Yasyayam jignasa prastuta. Then yasya is what? Yasya kaivalyasya yam jignasa prastuta tad brahma. That is simple. Then the meaning also will come. Yasya kaivalyasya yam jignasa prastuta. That kaivalya or moksha about which this deliberation is being done, that indeed is Brahman. Why not that be the meaning of the statement? Iti anvayasya yuktatvat kim adhyaharana. In that case, you don't have to supply any new word there, and the sentence is complete in itself. Iti navachyam. Don't say this. Why is it so? Brahma jnanechhayaha prastutatvebi, even ta is to be added. Prastutatvebi moksha jnanechhayaha aprastutatvat. What is a prastavana? Prastavana means the introduction. Is what? Athato Brahma jignasa. So prastavana or introduction is jignasa of Brahma. deliberation upon Brahman. It's not said athato moksha jignasa, athato kaivalya jignasa, athatah kaivalya jignasa. Suppose it was said, in that case, that kaivalyam would be prastutam, meaning that would be something that is introduced. But here, the introduction is with what? Athato brahma jignasa. Therefore, that yat pada can only bring to mind what is, subject matter here. And therefore, yat pada should bring about something that is yasya should be Brahma, because it should be prasiddham. Therefore, tat is kaivalyam. So, tat kaivalyam Brahma yasyayam jignasa prastuta. And that is how that tat shabda should be interpreted as kaivalyam. Okay, then there is a little more problem. Continuing Purnanandi. Nanu tarhi yasyayam jignasa iti yat shabdasya ananvayasya. Now look at the sentence. Ataha tat kaivalyam brahma yasyayam jignasa prastuta. So, yat kaivalyam tad brahma. That's how it is. Ataha yat asharirakyam kaivalyam tad brahma. So, yat and tat, both the words have now connection. Yasyayam jignasa prastuta, of which this jignasa has been now is under discussion. Second, yasya shabda is not connected with any tat shabda. In general, a yat shabda must be connected with tat. Because that which, that must be connected with which in English. So, because when you say that boy came, which boy? Always the question will be, so boy such and such, he came. So just as that has an expectation of which, so also yat has expectation of tat. So when you supply the expectation of one tat by supplying one yat, yasyayam jignasa prastuta, of which the jignasa is under discussion, now of which that yasya will go with what? It's ananvayasya, that is not connected with anything now. Iti chedi, this is a question, no. Tad yadi kartavya sheshataya, says immediately, tad yadi kartavya sheshatvena upadishyeta. Immediately Bhashya says, tad again comes there. So this yasyayam jignasa prastuta, tad yadi kartavya sheshatvena upadishyeta. So this yasya goes with that tat, and therefore the sentence is complete there. Iti uttara bhashyastha tat shabdena anvaya samvad. So the following bhashya has a tat shabda with which this yas shabda can be connected. Yat padam adhyahartam. That's all. Then there should be a comma. Okay. Tathacha yat padam adhyahartavyam iti asvarasar. Somehow the Tikakara, Ratnabhavakara thinks that this is not a very good explanation where you have to supply the yat pada. And therefore, Vyakhyanantaramaha. So, Ratnabhavakara himself presents another Vyakhyanam. So, what did Ratnabhavakara say? On last line on page 151, Tat Kaivalyam Brahmaiva Karmaphala Vilakshanatvad ityartah Brahma Abhedat Mokshasya Kutastatvam Dharmadi Asangitvam Cha Bhavaha. So, Brahma Abhinnatvad, since moksha is same as Brahman or not separate from Brahman, therefore, if Brahman is Kutastham and Brahma is unconnected to Dharma or Kalatra, then moksha also is Kutastha. Moksha also is Nitya, as well as unconnected with Dharma and Kalatra. That is how the understanding is. Now gives another explanation here. That this explanation required supplying of the Yat Pada, and that explanation he didn't like that much. So Ratnabha says now on the page 152, Yadva yad jignasyam tad brahma. Yadva yad jignasyam yasya em jignasa prastuta tad brahma. Yasya brahmana em jignasa prastuta tad brahma. That is some complete sentence. Not yasya kaivalyasya. Yasya brahmana em jignasa prastuta tad brahma. Says Purnananda, yasya brahmana jignasa prastuta tad brahma yadi bhashyanvayam arthadas phuti karodi. Yasya iyam jignasa prastuta. Yasya brahmana iyam jignasa prastuta tad brahma. And tat shabdasya kaivalyarthaka bhramam varayati. That should not mean that kaivalya, it should only mean Brahma. So what does it mean now? So that is Brahman about which this jignasa is prastuta. This deliberation is underway. That is indeed Brahman. So what does it tell you? Pratigamadaya atah shabdarthamaha atah shabda. So he says atah prasad jignasyatvat dharmadi asamsprushtam ityartha. Atah means what? Prasad jignasyatvat. Since Brahman is, see what are we doing here is, we are deliberating upon Brahman. Means this particular Shastra, which is what we call Uttar Mimamsa or Brahma Sutra, presents Brahman as the subject matter of deliberation, not Dharma. Therefore, this Shastra is different from Dharma Shastra. Idea is that this Brahman is different from, since Brahman is totally unconnected with Dharma and Adharma, therefore Brahma is different from Dharma Adharma, and therefore Brahma Jignasa is different from Dharma Jignasa. Therefore the Purva Mimamsa Shastra talks about, deliberates upon Dharma, and Brahman is something that is different from Dharma and Adharma. So Purva Mimamsa deliberates on Dharma and Adharma both. And Brahman is that which is distinct from Dharma and Adharma. Therefore, Brahman requires a separate deliberation because Brahman is a separate subject matter, so it involves Anubandha Chatushtaya of its own, and therefore it involves a separate inquiry or a separate deliberation. Therefore we say that Brahma Sutra or Uttar Mimamsa is a different Shastra as compared to Purva Mimamsa. And therefore its Anubandha Chatushtaya is different. Therefore you should not think that when they inquired or deliberated upon Dharma, that deliberation upon Brahma is already included. Because Brahma is a subject matter that is different from Dharma. Dharma is bhavya. Dharma is something to be created. So it's a product of apurva niyoga. And that is a product again of some karma. But Brahma is not bhavyam. Therefore it is not apurva niyoga phalam. And therefore there is no niyoji or someone who has to do something. So Brahman being a subject matter that is quite distinct from Dharma, therefore this is a Shastra that is different from Dharma Shastra, and therefore Sutrakara he has started a new deliberation upon Brahman as compared to deliberation upon Dharma, because deliberation upon Dharma did not include deliberation upon Brahma. So here the Adhikari Veda is there. This discussion came earlier. That earlier Sutrakara Jaimini has already deliberated upon Dharma, and Bhashyakara, Sutrakara here, Badarayana, commenced the deliberation upon Brahman. Therefore they must be a separate subject. Therefore Brahman must be different from Dharma. And that was one of the arguments why Brahman cannot be a product of, or Moksha cannot be a product of Upasana. So this point is brought about here, that since Brahma is a subject matter of this deliberation, therefore it is different from Dharma, and therefore it is not a product of Moksha, is not a product of Upasana. Athato Brahma Jignasa ityadina shastrana jignasyatvat. So prasad jignasyatvat, since Brahma is deliberated upon separately or independently, dharmadi asamsprushtatvam. Therefore it should be different from Dharma. Had it not been totally distinct from Dharma, there was no need for you to start a separate deliberation upon Brahman. Since the separate deliberation started, therefore Brahma must be different from Dharma. Therefore, Dharmadi asamsprushtatvam, that mokshasya or Brahmana, that Brahman or moksha cannot have any sparsha. Sparsha means sambandha, any connection at all with Dharma or Adharma. प्रथम व्याख्याने अतः तद इत्यादि भाष्यम मोक्षस्य नियोग फलत्व शंका निरास प्रतिपादकम. In the first, where yet shabda was interpreted as kaivalyam, then kaivalyam is not a niyoga phalam or apurva phalam, and therefore moksha is not apurva phala. That is how that was refuted. Dvitiye tu brahmana dharmadi asamsprushtatva hetu प्रतिपादकम इति भेदः. The Dvitiya Vakhyana it is said that Brahman is a subject matter different from Dharma, and therefore it is unconnected to Dharma. In earlier it was said moksha is not a product of karma. Now it says Brahma is something that is unconnected to Dharma. So each Vakhyana contributes something. It is not that it gives Vakhyana for the sake of Vakhyana, but each Vakhyanam has a certain meaning which it brings out. The first explanation of the sentence brought out the meaning that moksha is not a product of upasana. The second Vakhyana brought out the meaning that Brahman or moksha are unconnected dharma or adharma. And that's what it said. So that hetu is presented there. Dharmadi asamsprushtatva hetu pratipadakam. Ataha is what? Dharmadi asamsprushtatva. Therefore, so punah jignya, yasya yam jignasa prastuta. Since Brahman is different from dharma, therefore the jignasa or vichara Brahma is separately performed here. Dvitiya vyakhyane, then again what happens to yasya shabda? Dvitiya vyakhyane, yasya yam jignasa iti yat shabdasya purvottarastha tat shabdabhyam anvayah veditavyah. That yasya connects itself with both tad brahma, yasyam jignasa prastuta, tad yadi kartavya sheshatvena upadishyeda. That yasya, that yat shabda goes with earlier tad as well as subsequent tad. That is how you understand. Now what it means is this: Brahma dharmadi asamsprushtam pruthak jignasatvat vyatirekena swargavat iti anumanam. So Brahma is different from dharma. Pruthak jignasatvat, because it is separately deliberated upon. Vyatirekena swargavat. Had Brahman or moksha been like swarga, then it would not have become the subject matter of a separate inquiry. And swarga is already inquired into or deliberated upon in the dharma jignasa, and Brahma is distinct from swarga, and therefore it is unconnected to dharma or adharma. Should be comma, anumanam, yatirekena swargad anumanam, comma. Tasmin aprayojakatva shanka nirasartham anukula tarkamaha. In this anumanam, aprayojakatva shanka nirasartham, you might say that this hetu that you have presented really does not bring about this sadhya. That shanka may be there, so anukula tarkamaha brahmana iti. So what is the hetu there? Pruthak jignasatvat. So what? Pruthak jignasatvam does not necessarily bring about, dharmadya samsprushtat. That, so if the hetu is not the sadhya prayojaka, hetu does not become that which accomplishes sadhya. If this is a question, then anukula tarkamaha, the tarka is presented by Ratnaprabha. Brahmana vidisparsha. It says Brahmana vidisparsha shastra prasatvam nasyat. If Brahman had, sparsha means sambandha. If Brahman could be connected in one way or the other with vidhi or some kind of an enjoyment, shastra prasatvam nasyat, then this Brahma jignasa or this shastra of which Brahma is the Vishaya would not be a separate shastra from dharma shastra. Karya vilakshana anadhigata vishaya alabhat. Because where is the anubandha chatushta is different, or dharma jignasa should deserve a separate Brahma deserves a separate deliberation only when there is anadhikatarthatvam. Only when this subject matter is not covered earlier in the earlier discussion, then alone you should start a separate discussion. When should you start a separate discussion of a subject matter? When that subject is not covered in earlier discussion. Then, if Brahman were like Swarga, or Moksha were like Swarga, which is created or brought about as a result of some kind of an upasana karma, in that case, also the upasanas and karma and their effects have been already deliberated upon in the earlier discussion, so there would be no need to start a fresh discussion. So, Brahmana vidisparshe shastra prasatvam nasyat. If Brahma could be connected, Brahma or Moksha could either be connected with vidhi, meaning could be connected with karma, shastra prasatvam nasyat, then this Uttar Mimamsa would not be a separate shastra. Karya vilakshana anadhikata vishaya alabhat. Because you would not have labha, you would not be able to bring about this subject matter would not be separate from the earlier subject matter, because earlier subject matter dealt with karya, meaning that which is produced by karma, and moksha also is to be produced by karma, then both of them fall in the same category. In that case, this subject matter is already covered in the earlier discussion, and the anadhikata vishaya is not there. That is adhikatatvam is there. So anadhikata vishaya alabhat. The anubandha chatushtaya must be separate, or the subject matter should not have been covered in the earlier discussion, and it would consider to have been covered if Brahma were or Moksha were compared to Swarga. And therefore we say that this is a separate inquiry, and therefore Brahman must be a subject matter separate from Dharma, so it must be unconnected to Dharma or Adharma. This is how. Says here, Purnanandya, Aham Brahmasmiti Aropya Aikya Vishayaka Upasana Vidisheshatvena Brahmana Vidisambanditve Ityartha. See, what they say is, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, is to be considered as a statement of Upasana. Aham Brahmasmiti Aropya Aikya Vishayaka Upasana. Let there be superimposition of Brahman upon the self, and may you meditate upon self as Brahman. Iti Aropya Aikya Vishayaka Upasana Vidisheshatvena. That Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. That which is presented as Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma, what are we going to do with that Brahman? That Brahman I am. In this manner, may you meditate upon Brahman as the very self. Thus, may you superimpose upon yourself the idea that I am Satyam, I am Jnanam, I am Anantam. Aikya Vishayaka Upasana Vidisheshatvena. Then that Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma becomes a matter supplementary to the Upasana Aham Brahmasmi. So when there is this enjoyment that may you meditate upon Brahman as the self, the question arises, which is that Brahman? Answer is Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. Tad vijijñāsasva tad brahmedi yato va imani bhutani jayante. That from which this creation is born, etc., that is Brahman, and may you meditate on the Brahman. Which is that Brahman? That is tat tat yat. So Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. And so that is, so this Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma, that statement, becomes what? Only supplementary statement to that Vidhi tad vijijñāsasva or Aham Brahmasmi. It does not convey meaning of its own, but it serves the purpose of that upasana, that vidhi, that may you meditate upon Brahman as a very self. So upasana vidisheshatvena brahmana vidhi sambanditve. If Brahman was thus associated with the vidhi, then this would not be a separate shastra. It would have already been covered in the earlier discussion. Upasanayaha karya rupatvena karya vilakshana anadhigata vishaya abhavat Vedanta Shastrasya Karma Shastra Apeksha Prusaktum Nasyad. Upasana also is a karma. Upasana also is a manasa vyapara or a mental activity. Karya Rupatvena, Karya Vilakshana. In that case, this moksha also would be a product of karma, and Brahman also is connected with karma. Karya Vilakshana Anadhigata Visha Alava Abhava. Then there is no separate subject matter. Vedanta Shastrasya Karma Shastra Apeksha Prusaktam Nasyat. Then Vedanta Shastra really would not be any different from Karma Shastra. Tathacha Prasama Sutrena Brahmana Prasak Jignyasatva Anupatti Vibhavaha. In that case, the first sutra would not have Brahma as the subject matter of deliberation. It is Arsapatti. Anyatha Anupatti. Sutrakara would not have presented Brahman as the subject matter of deliberation had Brahman not been distinct from Dharma. Sutrakara knows, so he also Aptavakya is taken as Pramanam here. That why did Sutrakara Badarayana present Brahma as a subject matter of a separate Jignyasa, which it would not have been had Brahman not been distinct from Dharma and Adharma. Otherwise, Sutrakara would not have presented that as a separate matter of subject of deliberation. Okay. Now be ready for a little more. Nanu Brahmana Vidisheshatvevi. Swami, every day is so wonderful, but sometimes it becomes like this also, So we have to be prepared for some. If you are committed to these tikas, otherwise we just skip the pages. But then people say, Swami, you are not reading Purnanandya and this and that, so you miss that. So when you are committed to every word and every sentence, then we have to be ready for this kind of discussions also. Okay. Nanu Brahmana Vidisheshatvevi Vidiparat Satyadivakya. Still the Purupakshi wants to press that point. And you have to see how this deliberation goes on here. It says Brahmana Vidisheshatvevi Vidiparat Satyadivakya. He says, even if Brahma is Vidishesham, meaning Brahma, even though Brahma is connected with Upasana, even though Brahman becomes the subject matter of Upasana, meaning that upon which the meditation is to be done. So even though Brahman is presented here as an object of meditation, and therefore it is connected with Upasana, and therefore connected with Vidhi, then also we will show how this Brahma Jignasa can be a separate subject matter from Dharma Jignasa. How? It says Vidhi Parat सत्यादि वाक्यात् ब्रह्मात्मैक्यस्य उपासना विषयस्य ज्ञातुं शक्यत्वात्. So there is a vidhi vakyam and there is a vidhi para vakyam. There are two kinds of vakyas. One is aham brahmasmi or tad vijignyasasva. These are vidhi vakya, meaning they directly present, they enjoin a certain activity. Then there is an akanksha. So what is it? Yupe badhnati, or yupe pashum badhniyat. So one must tie this sacrificial animal with a post. Immediate question arises, what is that yupa? Then you will find elsewhere a sentence that yupa is some kind of wood, which is prepared, and which is samskrutam, which is prepared in a certain way, in an octagonal form, etc. So what is the description of the yupa? That becomes what? Vidhi param vakyam. Not vidhi vakyam, but vidhi para vakyam, meaning it supplements the vakya of vidhi to complete the details that are required. In order for you to follow the instruction, whatever further information is required, that further information is provided by other statements. So also when it is said, Tad Brahma, Tad Vijignyasasva, that is Brahman, and may you meditate upon Brahman, then naturally arises an expectation of what is that Brahman? Then there is an answer, Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. So this statement, Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma, is what is called Vidhi Param Vakyam. Because it provides the information about Brahman on which you want to meditate or on which you have to meditate. So that is a secondary sentence. Primary sentence is Vidhi Vakyam and secondary sentence is Vidhi Para Vakyam. In Vedanta, Tat Tvamasi is the primary sentence. And any statement dealing with Tat, Tvam and all of that will be called Avantar Vakya. And Tat Tvamasi is the Pradhana Vakya or Mahavakya. Similarly also. So Vidhi Parat, Satyadi Vakyat, ब्रह्मात्मैक्यस्य उपासना विषयस्य ज्ञातुं शक्यत्वात्. Says this Brahman, which is the Brahmatmaikyam, that Brahman is identical to Atma, and Brahman which is identical to Atma becomes the subject matter of Upasana. So Dharma is not identical to Atma, while Brahma is identical to Atma. In that sense, even though in Brahma Jignasa also, the Karya is there, Karya Paratvam is there, but the subject matter of Karya is different from subject matter of the Vidhi there. There the subject matter is Dharma, which is not identical to Atma. Here subject matter of Upasana is Brahman, which is identical to Atma, and therefore that subject matter, even though it is supplementary to the Vidhi, still it is distinct from Dharma. And so, Brahmatmaikyasya upasana vishayasya jnatum shakyatvat. Therefore, that Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma revealed the identity with Atma, and therefore, even though Vidhi Vakya are in the same category as Vidhi Vakya of the earlier Shastra, the Vidhi Paravakyas are different. Earlier, the Vidhi Paravakyas are about Yupa and all kinds of things, which are other subject matters. Here Vidhi Paravakya is about Brahman, which is identical to Atma, and therefore, even though Vidhi Vakyas do not present Brahman as something different from the other earlier Vidhi Vakya, but Vidhi Paravakyas present Brahman as a subject matter that is different from Dharma. Shakyatvat Karya Vilakshana Anadhigata Brahmatmaikya Rupa Vishayalabhena. So there is a Vishayalabha here. What is it? Karya Vilakshana Anadhigata Brahmatmaikya. That Brahmatmaikyam is what? Karya Vilakshanam. Brahmatmaikyam is something as a created as a result of Karya. But once having created, then it remains, then it is Karya Vilakshanam. So Karya Vilakshana Anadhigata Brahmatmaikya Rupa Vishayalabhena. The Brahmatmaikya Vishaya is that which is not adhikatam, meaning that which is not covered in the earlier discussion. Vedantanam Pratak Shastratva Kathanam Yuktam. Therefore we say that Vedantas can be called to be Pratak Shastra, separate Shastra, because there Brahman is what? Is identical to Atma, and therefore it is subject matter distinct from Dharma or other things discussed there. Then that is answered. Nahi iti Ratna Prabhakara says, Nahi Brahmatmaikyam Bheda Pramane Jagrati Vidhi Paravakyat Labdhum Shakyam. So Vidhi Vakya doesn't say that Brahma is identical to Atma, because Aham Brahmasmi is interpreted as Upasana Vakyam. then what is it that reveals the identity with Brahman? Not Aham Brahmasmi Vakya, but Satyam Jnanavanandam Brahma. That reveals the identity of Brahman and Atma, and not Aham Brahmasmi according to them. In that case, he says no. Vidhi Paravakyam is not a strong Vakya. Vidhi Vakya is a Pramana Vakya. But Vidhi Paravakya are only supplementary Vakyas. So Vidhi Vakya always is stronger than other Vakyas. If Vidhi Vakya says that Brahman is to be meditated upon as Atma, that shows that Brahman is separate from Atma. Otherwise, how can you meditate upon that? If meditation involves a Kriya, and if Brahman is presented as object of meditation, then necessarily Brahman which is to be meditated upon must be separate from Atma. So when Upasana Vakya, Aham Brahmasmi says that Brahman is separate from Atma, then how can you say that Satyam Jnanavanandam presents Brahma as identical to Atma? Because that Vakya does not have the strength that Vidhi Vakya has. The Vidhi Paravakya are Avantar Vakyas, and Avantar Vakyas are not as strong in terms of Pramanyam as Vidhi Vakya. When Vidhi Vakya says Aham Brahmasmi, meaning my Brahman should be meditated upon Atma, that shows the duality between Brahma and Atma. Bheda Pramana Jagrati, or as Bheda Pramana is said here, that Vidivak is Naham Ishvara iti Bheda Pramana se Jagarukatvat. That also, I know that I am not Brahman. And therefore, that is the Pratyaksha, direct experience is what? I am not Brahman. And when my practical experience that I am not Brahman, that Satyam Jnanavanantam Brahma, which is a Vidhi Paravakyam, not a Vidhi Vakyam, that had it been Vidhi Vakyam, then of course we would discard our Pratyaksha also and accept it. But Vidhi Paravakyam is there, and therefore that cannot disprove our practical experience. So Brahmatmaikyam Bheda Pramane Jagrati Sati Vidhi Paravakya Labdhum Na Shakyam. Therefore, you cannot say that Brahma is identical to Atma from a Vakya which is Vidhi Paravakyam and not Vidhi Vakyam. And therefore, Na Brahmatmaikyam Jnatum Shakyam Vidhi Paravakya se apradhanyena Brahmatmaikya bodhakataya durbalatvat. Since Vidhi Paravakyam is durbalam, not a pradhana vakyam, and therefore it cannot actually convey the sense of identity. When by other vakyas or by other practical experience we know that Brahman is separate from Atma, tathacha shastra prasakta kathanam vyartham. And therefore, on the strength of that, to say that the Brahma Shastra is different from Dharma Shastra, it cannot be. Still, nanu pratyek abhinna brahmopasana videhe वास्तवं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यमंतरा अनुपन्नत्वात् आवश्यकं तथा च अहं ब्रह्मास्मीति प्रधान विवाक्यनेव विषयलाभात् शास्त्र पृथक्त्वं युक्तम. Still he continues. He says, when the Shruti says that you should meditate upon Brahman as a self, that should be only when self is really Brahman. Even the Vidivakya also brings about identity. Really the Brahmatma, see, Bheda Pramana Jagrati, I should rather like to say that Vidivakya shows Bheda Pramana. Aham Brahmasmi, when that is interpreted as one should meditate upon Brahman, that means that meditation can be only upon something that is separate from you. Therefore, that very Vidhi says that Brahman is separate from you. He says no, that Brahman is when they say that you should meditate upon Brahman as a self, Brahman should really be self. Otherwise, how can they ask you to meditate upon Brahman as self? Had it not been identical to self, they would not have asked you to meditate upon that. That's what he says. Pratyek abhinna brahmopasana videhe vastavam brahmatmaikyamantara anupannatvat. That had vastavam or real brahmatmaikyam not been there, there would not have been a vidhi or an injunction to meditate upon Brahman as a self. Tat avashyakam. Brahmatmaikyam avashyakam. From the Vidivakya, in fact, we arrive at this conclusion that Brahma must be identical to Atma. Tathacha aham brahmasmiti pradhana Vidivakyaneva vishayalabhat. Alright, not Vidiparavakyana, but pradhana Vidivakya itself gives you the Vishaya, namely Brahma is identical to Atma. So this is separate subject matter. Brahman is identical to Atma, is subject matter separate from Dharma, and therefore, even though it may be connected with Vidhi, still subject matter being different, we say that this is a different Shastra. Shastra Prasakvam Yuktam. So if they can show Shastra Prasakvam and still Vidiparatvam, then they have won a point technically anyway. But even that point also they don't want them to win anyway. Iti ashankya vastav aikyam vinaeva aropita aikya vishayaka brahmatmaka jnanadeva tad upasanayaha sambhavena tad videhe upavattehe. He says, no, for meditation you do not require a real identity. To meditate upon Brahman as Atma, it's not necessary that Brahman should be Atma. Just as Shalagrama Vishnu, just as upon Shaligrama, may we look upon Shaligrama as Vishnu. It is not necessary that Shaligrama should be Vishnu. Some similarity must be there, that Shaligrama also is dark black and Vishnu also is black, okay. Or Shaligrama has certain marks in there, like chakra, etc. sometimes, and then Lord Vishnu is associated with that. Therefore, perhaps you can imagine or superimpose the idea of Vishnu upon Shaligrama. But for upasana or meditation, it is not necessary that these things must be identical. In fact, there cannot be upasana, then it is knowledge. If you know Shaligrama as Vishnu, which is a fact also in another way, then it is knowledge. But when depends on what your concept of Vishnu is. If you know as Vishnu as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Asti Bhadi Prem, then Shaligrama is Vishnu. But if you think that Vishnu is Chaturbhuja, then Shaligrama is not Vishnu. From the standpoint of the name and form, there is a distinction. Therefore, you superimpose that concept upon this name and form. So, upasana invariably involves a superimposition. Also, when they say Aham Brahma Meiva iti upasita, then there is a superimposition of the quality of Brahman upon Aham. So, upasana does not require an actual identity. Otherwise, there cannot be upasana. There is only knowledge. That very upasana or activity will go away. So, may you meditate upon this as jasmine flower. How can you meditate? You can look upon it as jasmine flower. So, look upon it, then there is no activity. See, when a jasmine flower is presented to you, and now I say that, may you meditate upon this as jasmine flower. So, what will you do? You're looking at jasmine flower. Now, can you imagine jasmine flower in your mind? You cannot imagine, because even as you look at the jasmine flower, already that vritti is in your mind. So you don't have to create that vritti. But if I say that, may you look upon this paperweight as elephant, or some reason, let us say. Ambadi, So suppose you look upon this thing as an elephant. Then you are looking at a given thing and you imagine this elephant in your mind. So what you are looking at is different from what you imagine or in your mind. Then no upasana is possible. Some features of this object which is in my hand enables you to somehow visualize an elephant in your mind, and that is how this object becomes an aid to your visualization or meditation as an elephant. So upasana is possible only when in fact there is a distinction between the alambanam, which is an aid to upasana, and what you are meditating upon. Upasana must involve in fact a superimposition. Otherwise, may look upon this as a paperweight. Fine, it is a paperweight, and therefore I look upon it. I need not meditate upon it, because I cannot meditate. I cannot meditate upon a fact. I can see a fact. I can meditate upon something which is not there. You must know the distinction between meditation and seeing. So he says, Vastavaikyam vina aropidaikya vishayaka brahma, and that is Brahma jnanam. Looking upon this as an elephant, that is Brahma. It's not an elephant, and still you look upon it as an elephant. That's called Brahma. Means there is a superimposition involved. The different kinds of Brahma are there. Visamvadi Brahma, Samvadi Brahma, etc. But Brahma it is nevertheless. And therefore, it is Brahmatmakam jnanam. Tad upasanayaha sambhavena. So upasana is possible even with Brahma jnanam, not with Vastava jnanam. Upasana does not call for Vastava jnanam. It is adequate. Brahma jnanam is adequate for upasana. Tad videhe upapattehe na tadapeksha na brahmatmaikya apeksha. Therefore, there is no expectation of brahmatmaikya for upasana, of meditation of aham brahma. Iti pariharti. So now go back to Ratna Brahma. Nahi brahmatmaikyam bheda pramane jagrati vidhiparavakya labdhum shakyam. Veda pramanam here is either pratyaksha pramanam or vidhivakya pramanam, which presents Brahman as the object of upasana. But suppose that vidhivakya is interpreted as presenting Brahman as identical, then also na tadvina videhe anupattihi. it is not that the upasana cannot be performed unless this identity is there. Tad vina means vastav aikyam vina. So, then gives illustration. Yoshidajnaikyopaste vididarsanadi bhava. Yoshavava Gautama Agnihi. This in Chandogya Upanishad, this whole meditation is on the Panchagni. And different Agnis are presented. And Yosha means a woman. May you look upon that as fire. It's not a fire, but look upon as fire, no? Different things are looked upon as fire, not only woman, but many things. And so, may you look upon that as fire. Fire is that which is under which something is offered. That's all it is. Anyway, so आरोपित ऐक्य विषय का भ्रमात्मक ज्ञानाद उपासना द्वारा विधेय उपत्ति क्व दृष्टा. Where do you find that vastava ऐक्य is not there and still the vidhi is there? Like Yoshava Gautama Agnihi iti atra dृष्टा. So Yoshit Ajnaikyopaste vidhi darshana vibhava. The idea is that even the vidhi vakya, suppose Aham Brahmasmi is interpreted as a vidhi vakya to begin with, Aham Brahma iti upasita, then that vidhi or upasana does not require that aham must be identical to Brahman, because one can superimpose the concept of Brahma upon aham and then upasana is possible. And therefore, still aham is not identical to Brahma, Atma is not identical to Brahman. And therefore, this does not present a separate subject matter. Therefore, if you want to interpret aham brahmasmi as upasana vakyam and satyam jnanavanantam as vidhipar vakya, in which another interpretation. Or, so now Purnanga says Prakrude, page 153, Prakrude, Aikyopasanam prati Aikyarobha Aropya Aikyam va hetuhu. Aikyopasanam prati Aikya Aropha. Something you have to imagine. Either imagine oneness or Aropya Aikyam va hetuhu. Aikya Aropha or Aropya Aikyam. So, Aikya Aropha. You superimpose the oneness, Aikya Aropha, between Atma and Brahma. Or Aropya Aikyam. Aikyam which has been superimposed, that becomes a hetu. Or superimposition of identity becomes a hetu. Superimposition of identity or identity which has been superimposed. Either superimposition is a hetu or identity is hetu. So identity that is superimposed is a hetu means what? Aropya Aikyam. Or superimposition of identity is a hetu, that is what? Aikya Aropaha. So Aropaha hetu or Aikyam hetu. In either case, there is some Aropa is involved. The Vastava Aikyam, but real, actual Aikya is not the hetu. This is what is being said. Alright, now continue. Swapakshe Sutra Swarasya Jnapanaya. But then, Tikakara's own Paksha, our own interpretation of this Vakya is even separate from these two. He presented these two because somebody may have presented either somewhere else, or because these two interpretations clarify certain things about nature of moksha, nature of Brahman, and then the anadhikatar sattvam, etc. So all of these are brought about. But then, what is his own opinion or his own choice rather? All what he likes himself is this. His own preference, I should say. Swapakshe Sūtra Swarasya Jnapanaya. His own preference is Yojanantramah Asvayati. Or third Yojana, third way that this Vakya can be understood, says Ritnamra Athava Mokshasya Niyoga Asadhyatve Phalitam Sutra Samaha. Athava or Mokshasya Niyoga Asadhyatve. That moksha is Niyoga Asadhya is not something to be accomplished as a result of Niyoga. Where Niyoga can be interpreted as Apurva or Niyoga can be interpreted as a Vidhi. Moksha is not to be created as a result of action or is not a creation. That is what Bhashyakara wants to really convey. Phalitam Sutratamaha Ataha iti Atastad Brahma Yasyayam Jignasa Prastuta. So that is Atash Shabdartama. Then he explains Yadatra Jignasam Brahma Tas Swatantrameya Vedantahi Upadishyate Samanvayad ityarthaha. Ataha means what? Samanvayad. Atash Shabdartama Samanvayad. Ataha means Samanvayad. On account of Samanvaya. What is Samanvaya? Samanvaya is Tatparya Bodhakatvam. So that since Brahman alone is the Tatparya of all the Vedanta, And therefore, since all the Vedantas have a concurrence in presenting Brahman alone as the primary subject matter, therefore, atah samanvayat yadatra jignasam brahma tat swatantrameva. Therefore, yasyam jignasa prastuta, that Brahman of which the jignasa of the deliberation is presented here, that Brahma is what? Tat swatantrameva upadishyate. That's what you have to present. You have to supply. Tat swatantrameva upadishyate vedantehi. That Brahman is something that is independently or separately taught by Vedanta. Meaning Brahman is not something that is covered in the discussion of Dharma Shastra, but Brahman is that which is presented as a separate subject matter of Vedanta. Why? Because all the Vedantas have their Tatparya or purport in presenting Brahman as a subject matter, whereas Karma Kanda had its Tatparya in presenting Dharma as a subject matter, Vedanta has Tatparya in presenting Brahma as a subject matter. Therefore, Brahman is a separate subject matter, and therefore Brahman is independently or separately or as a distinct subject matter, Brahman is taught by Vedanta. That Vedanta or Upanishads address themselves to Brahman, whereas Karma Kanda address themselves to Dharma. Therefore Brahman is separate from Dharma. Therefore Brahman, if Dharma is connected with Vidhi, Brahman is different from Dharma, therefore not connected with Vidhi. And then Dharma in the sense of Swarga is also a product of Vidhi. Moksha is not a product of Vidhi. Dharma is connected to Vidhi because it must be performed. Brahma is not connected to Vidhi because it must be known. Then Swarga is connected to Vidhi because it is Karma Phala. Moksha is not connected to Vidhi because it is already Siddha Vishaya, therefore not Karma Phala. So both Brahma and Moksha are different from Dharma and Swarga Phala. And therefore, this is a separate inquiry. Therefore, Brahman is distinct from Dharma. Saman Vedantai Upadishyate Samanvayad Ityartha. Says Purnanandya Brahmana Swatantrena Upadesha Anangikare Athato Brahmopasana Jignasa iti Sutram Syat. If Sutrakara here intended to present Upasana upon Brahman, then the first sutra should have been Athato Brahmopasana Jignasa. May we now perform the deliberation upon, the meditation upon Brahman. That would have been the way the first sutra should have been. Athato Brahmopasana Jignasa. That should have been sutra if Upasana were the primary subject matter, or Upasana of Brahman being different from other Upasanas and therefore is the primary subject matter. In the first sutra, the subject matter to be presented of been Brahmopasana instead of Brahman. Athado Brahmopasana Jignasa iti Sutram Syat. Natu evam asti. That's not the case. Athado Brahma Jignasa. That's the sutra. Tasmad Brahma Swatantrameva Upadishyate Vedantehi. Therefore Vedantas present Brahman as an independent subject matter. And so Swatantra Upadesha Angikara. If you don't accept it, sutra should have been different. The sutra is like this. So Brahma is to be accepted as a separate subject matter. Okay. So we have dealt with this. Now tomorrow we'll proceed with the subsequent subject matter. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Atha Pattu Samanvaya. Page 151. भाष्य परंतु पारमार्थिकं कूटस्थं नित्यं व्योमवत् सर्वव्यापी सर्वविक्रियारहितं नित्यतृप्तं निरवयवं स्वयं ज्योतिस्वभावं यत्र धर्माधर्मौ सहकार्येण कालत्रयञ्च नोपावर्तेते तदेतत् अशरीरत्वं मोक्षाख्यम् अन्यत्र धर्मात् अन्यत्राधर्मात् अन्यत्रास्मात् कृतात् अन्यत्र भूताच्च भव्याच्च इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यः अतस्तद्ब्रह्म यस्येयं जिज्ञासा प्रस्तुता तदेतत् अशरीरत्वं मोक्षाख्यम. This ashariratvam is moksha. That is what is known as moksha. Yatra dharmadharmau sahakaryena kalatrayam cha nopavartete. Where dharma and adharma, along with the time, even the 3 periods of time, which do not obtain, that is known as ashariratvam. So along with the denial or the refute, the dissolving of the body, or the negation of the body, also is the negation of dharma and adharma, because body always is associated with dharma and adharma, and also with kalatraya. Kalatraya means the past, present and future, meaning creation. So when asharirakhyam moksha, this moksha which is known as asharira, which is ashariram, so this moksha, when we say that it is not connected with kalatraya, meaning it is not connected with karma phala, because karma phala is that which is created, not connected with dharma and adharma as well as with karma phala. And in support of that, Bhashyakara quoted anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. This is anyatra kritat, akritat, which is not different from dharma as well as adharma. Kruta means karya, akrutam karanam. Bhutacha, bhavyacha, from the past, future and the present. So that which is distinct from them all. Where these concepts are not. That shows that all of these concepts of past, present, etc., all of them are really superimpositions. And they alone are all included in shariram. Idam shariram kaunde kshetramitya vidiyate. In that shariram, kshetram, all of these are also included. Dharma, adharma, and the product of dharma, adharma, kalatraya. All of these fall in the category of shariram or kshetram. Etadyo vetitam prahu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. The knower of that is called kshetrajna. And that alone is Atma, that alone is Brahman, and abiding in that knowledge alone is moksha. Ataha tad brahma yasyayam jignasa prastuta. And therefore, tad kaivalyam brahma. First explanation was that kaivalyam, that ashariratvam, mokshakyam. So that which is known as ashariratvam, which is moksha, that alone is Brahman. So therefore, ashariratvam alone is Brahma, and that alone is moksha. Moksha is not different from Brahman. No doubt it is knowledge of Brahman, but ultimately it is abiding in Brahman. And knowing Brahman itself is becoming Brahman. Knowing Brahman is to discover that I am Brahman. And therefore really knowledge is not different. Moksha, which is also product of, which is what is the result of the knowledge, is not different from Brahman itself. And so, ataha tad brahma, ataha tad kaivalyam brahma, yasya ayam jignasa prastuta. That's one explanation that was given. Second explanation that was given is, ataha tad brahma, so yasya brahmana ayam jignasa prastuta tad brahma. So yasya ayam jignasa prastuta, that for which the jignasa is commenced, that Brahman is indeed Brahman and not something else. Meaning that which is dharma dharmadi asamsprushtam. So jignasa of which Jnana is under discussion. There is indeed Brahman that is different from Dharma. So Dharma is that which is the subject matter of the discussion, the Purva Tantra, and what is subject matter of discussion now is Brahma, which is distinct from that. Dharma is that which is connected with the Vidhi, which is connected with Karma Phala. This, on the other hand, is not connected with Dharma, Vidhi, Karma Phala, Kalatra, and therefore this is a separate Shastra, separate subject matter altogether. So therefore a Swatantra or an independent inquiry is being conducted pertaining to Brahma. Or Tad Brahma Yasya Yam Jnana Prastuta Yasya Yam Jnana Prastuta Tad Brahma Swatantrameva. That is to be added, Tat Swatantrameva. That Brahman is independent indeed, Samanvayat, because of Samanvaya. Because all the Upanishads are devoted to revealing Brahman as that very subject matter. Not karma or not dharma, but all the Upanishads are devoted to revealing Brahman as the subject matter. And since all Upanishads concur in this, that Brahman alone is subject matter, therefore Brahman is Swatantram eva Vedantahi Upadishyate. That Vedantas or Upanishads independently teach Brahman, whereas Karma Kanda teaches Karma or Dharma. This is how the three explanations were given. Now, page 153, continuing. Vipakshe dandam patayati. Vipakshe, in the opposite paksha. Danda. Danda means, so what danda will happen or what hani will happen? If you don't accept it paksha, if you accept the opposite paksha, then what will be the difficulty of the problem that you will land into? What is the situation in which you will land into is also being pointed out. Not only that our paksha is right, but the opposite paksha is wrong because it lands you into difficulty. How? Tadyaditi, says Bhashya. Tadyadi kartavyasheshatvena upadishyeta tena cha kartavyena sadhyaschet mokshobhyupagamyeta anitya eva syat tatraivam sade यथोक्त कर्म फलेष्वेव तारतम्यावस्थितेषु अनित्येषु कश्चित् अतिशयः मोक्ष इति प्रसज्येत तद्यदि तद्ब्रह्म यदि कर्तव्य शेषत्वेन उपदिश्येत. If that Brahman was taught kartavya sheshatvena as supplementary to kartavya, as shesha, as something that is supplementary or helpful, or as an anga, as a part of karma, or as related to kartavya, tena cha kartavyena sadhyaschet moksha abhivagamyeta. And if kartavya is involved, then just as in case of dharma, kartavya or some doing is involved. So dharma is bhavya, something that is generated. You perform a certain action, as a result of which a certain effect is created. And therefore, and as a result of that effect, a certain karma phala is created. And therefore what we call dharma is bhavya, something that takes place in future. What happens in present is performance of karma. And what is dharma? I mean, that also can be called dharma, but dharma in terms of apurva or dharma in terms of swarga takes place in future. And similarly also, if moksha, if Brahman also were taught by Upanishads as a matter of kartavya, as that with which something is to be done, meaning Brahman were taught by Upanishads as that which is to be meditated upon, in that case, as a result of meditation upon Brahman, some apurva or some effect, an incomprehensible effect will be created, and that is how moksha will be created. Then moksha sadhya, then you have to accept that moksha also is sadhya, is something to be accomplished. Not an existing fact, something to be accomplished. What does it mean? It means that it does not obtain at present and it is something that will take place in future. moksha becomes created. Something, a phenomenon that will take place in future and that which does not exist in the present. Anitya eva syat. Moksha, which is created or brought about as a result of karma, would have to be called anitya, impermanent, because it is not there in the present and it will be in future alone. And that which is created, someday it will also perish. This is the rule. Because there is a reason why a given thing is created. It is logical also. That there is a reason why something is created. Something was not in existence and it came into existence. There must be a reason why a given thing came into existence. As long as that reason is there, so long thing will exist. And when that reason will not be there, the thing will not exist. And the reason also is not there. Because if the reason always was there, the thing should have been present. The fact that a given thing came into existence now, meaning that the peculiar conditions of existing to bring into existence also obtained now, means that karanam which brought about that karya also is impermanent, because otherwise the karya should always have been there. And therefore, that which is responsible for bringing about that effect also took place now. That is also impermanent. So when karanam is impermanent, the karya, the effect also will be impermanent. How long can you hold this brick in your hand? How long? The brick is in the air. How long? As long as you can hold it. It cannot remain in the air by itself. For the brick to remain in the air, there is a reason that it is held by my hand. So this is the cause. Holding is the cause for holding the brick in the air. How long will it remain there? As long as I can hold it. And when that energy will not be there, the brick also will come down. So also let us say moksha is something that is created as a result of an upasana. Which upasana also is a limited action. Upasana takes place only when I perform the action. It was not there before its performance. It will not be there when its performance is over. So upasana, being like any other action also, is limited in time and limited in every way. And therefore, suppose it does create an effect called moksha. That moksha, which was not there, which is created as a result of karma, is therefore dependent upon the strength of the karma. As long as the effect of that karma can maintain that moksha in that condition, so long it is there. And when the result of the upasana is exhausted, moksha, which is a product of that karma, also will not be there. Therefore, it is anitya. Yat kritakam, tat anityam. That which is created has to be impermanent. And therefore, if you insist, just because you want to say that that Upanishads do not teach Brahman independently, but teach Brahman only as an object of meditation, your insistence will land you into a situation that moksha, which is created as a result of upasana, also be impermanent. And do you like that? Suppose you don't mind. Tatrevam sadi yasokta karma phaleshu eva tartamya avasthireshu anityeshu kaschit atishaya moksha iti prasajyeta. Then moksha also is karma phala, more or less like dharma phala. And we described in great detail how dharma is always has tartamya, has gradation. Because the effect that is created depends upon the cause. And since cause is made up of so many ingredients or so many variables, it will depend upon those variables to create the effect. And therefore, if moksha also were the product of karma, it would be in the category of dharma. Give you some experience. It gives you some kind of an experience. How long will it last? As long as the effect of that karma is. So tatra evam sati, meaning moksha sadhyatvena anitya sati. Since moksha is sadhya and therefore it is impermanent, then it would fall in the category of dharma or some result of the dharma. Yathokta karma phaleshu, then the karma phalas that we described having taratamya or gradation. Taratamya avasthiteshu, all these karma phalas which have the taratamya or gradation, anityeshu, which all of them are impermanent, kaschit atishaya moksha syat. Maybe moksha is something different. Atishaya means it will be some kind of a special kind of a karma phala. It also will be impermanent and it also will have gradation. Because it depends upon the strength of upasana. If you say that upasana brings about moksha, fine. But then everybody is not going to perform the same kind of upasana. The quality of upasana will vary with people. And therefore the moksha that is generated as a result of upasana also will vary. So there will be taratamya in moksha also. And therefore it would be some kind of a distinct or some kind of an extraordinary thing, no doubt, but then in the same category of dharma that we described earlier, having gradation and also being anitya. Alright, so then what will happen? Says Bhashyakara further, Nityascha moksha sarvaihi mokshavaadvihi abhyupagamyate ataha न कर्तव्यशेषत्वेन ब्रह्मोपदेशो युक्तः. So here this first discussion is concluded. Nityasya moksha sarvaihi mokshavaadvihi abhyupagamyate. And it is true. Mokshavaadvihi, all those who accept moksha, they always want moksha or accept moksha as nitya, as permanent. Otherwise, how can it be moksha? Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Attaining which, then nothing remains to be attained. Otherwise, if you come back to the same again cycle of birth and death, then it becomes some kind of a temporary abode of heavenly abode or something like that. Something different from maybe other karma phalas, but it remains anyway some kind of a temporary abode from which you have to return, and nobody will accept moksha such as that. So nityasya moksha sarvaihi mokshavaadvihi abhyupagamyate. All the mokshavaadis, meaning all those who believe in moksha, all of them accept moksha as something that is permanent. Ataha. Atha means what? Say Ratnavra muktehe niyog asadhyatvena niyojya alabhat kartavya niyogya abhavat. Therefore, ataha is very big here. Therefore, muktehe niyog asadhyatvena. We said, kartavyena sadhyaschet moksha. So, if moksha were kartavyatvena sadhya, niyoga can mean kartavya also, niyoga can mean vidhi also it can mean apurva, however. So, vidhi means injunction, and apurva means a result that is created as a result of performance of that karma. So, if mukti or the moksha were a product of an injunction, or product of a karma, or product of an apurva generated by karma, it cannot be. Therefore, muktehe niyoga asadhyatvena. Since moksha is not sadhya, and therefore it is not a product of apurva or some kind of an action, niyojya alabhat. And therefore niyojya is the person who is going to perform this. Niyoga means injunction, and niyojya is the one who is enjoined. Since moksha is not sadhya, therefore it cannot be product of niyoga. Therefore there cannot be niyojya. When there is no duty, then there cannot be one to perform the duty also. Niyojya alabhat kartavya niyoga abhavat. And therefore that kartavya niyoga or the enjoyment of a kartavya cannot be there in case of moksha, because moksha is not sadhya. In simple language, since moksha is not something to be accomplished, therefore there cannot be an instruction pertaining to moksha, because you require enjoyment or injunction for something that is to be accomplished. Since moksha is not sadhya, it is already siddha, therefore there is no scope of an injunction in case of moksha. Ataha na kartavya sheshatvena brahmopadesha yukta. And therefore it is not proper, it is not logical or tenable that Brahma is taught by Upanishad as supplementary to karma or as an object involved in karma. It cannot be. Niyoga abhavat, he says, niyoga kartru abhavat. So niyoga kartru here he says, niyoga karta, there is no niyoga karta. Nothing that brings about niyoga. Means that enjoyment is not there, vidhi is not there, or that action to be performed also is not there. Says here, Purnanandya, drashtasya ajnana nivritti rupa mokshasya aparoksha rupa sakshatkara avyabhedottarajanyatvat na kalantar bhavi adrushtafalaniyogajanyatvam anyatha mokshasya kalantarabhavi adrushtafalatvapatte ityaha ityartha. This is all that has been said in there. Oh, that is in the later now. That's the next one. Okay, here Ratnabhava says, Pradipat tamonivrittivat jnanat ajnananivrittiru mokshasya drishtafalatvacha. He says this matter is very simple. Pradipat tamonivrittivat, in the sense that just as a lamp dispels darkness, similarly also jnanat ajnananivrittiru mokshasya. So also moksha is a product of ajnana, bandha is product of ajnanam, and therefore jnanat ajnananivritti. So also when the knowledge dispels the ignorance, then the bondage which is the product of ignorance also is dispelled. And therefore, just as a lamp dispels the darkness, similarly also the knowledge dispels bondage. Mokshasya drishtafalatvat. And so when you switch on the light, just as all the objects which are there in the room get revealed, it is not that the light has created those objects, but in the envelope of the darkness, all these objects were veiled from our sight on account of darkness, and when you switch on the light, all that the light does is to reveal what is already there. It doesn't create anything. And similarly, moksha is already there, but that darkness of ignorance only keeps it away, veils it from our eyes. And therefore, when the darkness of ignorance is dispelled by knowledge, moksha, which is already an existing phenomenon, or existing truth, just gets revealed. So, drashtafalam. You switch on the light and you see what is there. Switching on the light immediately creates the effect of seeing. Why do you switch on the light? Because you want to see. When there is darkness, you cannot see something. And then there is a desire, therefore, to see what is there. So you switch on the light, and immediate result is what? You see what is revealed by the light. So switching on the light, which dispels the darkness, has an immediate effect of revealing the objects which are present. So that is called drashtafalam, meaning the immediate phalam. There is no distance that you switch on the light and after 5 minutes that you see the object. The light was switched on all light, if it is like tube light, it doesn't get switched on. Or maybe your eyes require some kind of an adjustment, we don't know. But otherwise, what is the distance between switching on the light and seeing the things that are there? What is the distance between them? Can you say the light first comes and then darkness goes and then you see these things? All of these are simultaneous, immediate. So there is no vyavadhanam. There is no intervention at all between switching of the light, coming of the light, dispelling of the darkness, and revealing of all the objects which are there. All of this is simultaneous. And therefore, drashtafala means when that vyavadhanam, meaning that intervention of time, etc. is not there. You eat food, hunger is appeased immediately. Not that I ate food and after 2 hours my hunger is appeased. If that happens, fellows will keep on eating. But then, hunger is appeased as you even eat food. Thirst is quenched as you even drink water. And so also, the objects which are there are revealed as you even switch on the light. And so also the moksha is revealed or attained as even the ignorance is dispelled. This is called drashtafalam. This is a very important point also that the Vedantins always make. That moksha is drashtafalam. There is no distance. That way dharma is different. You perform the action now, and at a future time and place you get the result. So the result is separated from the action. The effect is separated from the cause in terms of time, in terms of place. So there is a vyavadhanam, intervention is there. However, here there is no vyavadhanam, no intervention at all. The light is there, darkness is gone, knowledge is there, ignorance is gone, and therefore the bondage, which was merely a Brahma, if bondage is any substantiality, then it will remain. Like that snake upon the rope, if that snake had any substantiality at all, then when you show the torchlight there, something about the snake will remain, but the snake totally disappears because there is no substantiality at all. And similarly also, if bondage had a substantiality about itself, it will not go even when the ignorance goes. But when the ignorance is dispelled, the bondage also is dispelled. And therefore, this is called Drushtaphalam. Moksha is Drushtaphalam. Drushtaphalatvacha na niyoga sadhyatvam. So, labhyamane phale drushte na drushta parikalpana. When Drushtaphalam is there, you should not imagine something adrushta. When immediate result is there, I am telling you this, so this is what it is. Don't do any kalpanas and subsequently. When something is evidently there, then don't imagine things. No, I can't believe what is there, I think that it cannot be like this, it should be something else. This kind of a kalpana, this is what these people do also. When we are saying that moksha is something that is an immediate thing, what's the use of imagining that moksha should take place only after the death of this body? Or that it should do something that it should take place? Why? What's the need for insisting like this? That also is a question. Why should I insist? Because I feel bound. Therefore, if I am mukta, why not I feel mukta? I feel bound and therefore I cannot be mukta, I must be bound only. No, this kind of an insistence is there. Giving reality to something, in spite of the fact that scriptures reveal that there is no reality to this kartrutva bhoktritvatmaka samsara. But it gives reality to that. No, I am karta, I am bhokta, I must become Brahma. How do I become Brahma? By doing something, by some kind of a karma, I become Brahma. That they accept that you can become Brahma, which also the other fellows, Purva Mimamsakas, did not accept. Nobody can become Brahma, there is no such entity as Brahma. This Vrittikara at least accepts Brahman as limitless, except that I am at the moment a Jivatma, a limited entity, and by Upasana I will become limitless. So they accept becoming limitless, which just doesn't make sense. But then somehow that is the opinion there. And again, therefore, that point is made that there is no vyavadhanam, there is no intervention or distance between the cause and effect here, knowledge and moksha, as otherwise there is in case of karma anushthanam and the result, as there is an intervention, such intervention is not there. Drushtaphalatvacha na niyoga sadhyatvam. Where does niyoga come? Where does apurva come? Apurva means an unseen effect which is created when you perform an action, which effect remains until the result comes. It is said that when you perform a ritual, then it creates a subtle effect, the samskaras of which remain in your own antahkarana, and at the right time and place, that very apurva manifests itself as the karma phala, and then you experience that. So there is a link, of course, between karma and karma phala. That link is called apurva. But we don't require that apurva here, because immediately the phala is created, namely moksha, and therefore that niyoga sadhyatvam or apurva sadhyatvam cannot be in case of moksha, and that is what is being said, apichaiti. This word Purnanandiya explained there. Drushtasya ajnana nivritti rupa mokshasya aparoksha rupa sakshatkara avyavahitottarajanyatvat. This is ajnana nivritti rupa mokshasya. We are not saying that moksha is a phenomenon. Moksha is merely ajnana nivritti. We are not saying that the people in this room are created. We say that the darkness is just dispelled. And therefore, ajnana nivritti alone is moksha. Because Atma is ever there. In fact, self-effulgence. So ajnana alone has to be eliminated. So, and that is, therefore, drashta means immediate result is there. Drushtasya ajnana nivritti rupa mokshasya aparoksha rupa sakshatkara avyavahita. So what is aparoksha sakshatkara? Aparoksha rupa sakshatkara. Here sakshatkara can be of different kinds. Like sukha dukkha sakshatkara, that's one thing, that's called bhoga. So experiencing happiness, unhappiness, etc. There also some vyavadhanam is there, and as much as sakshi bhasyatvam is there. Here on the other hand, as far as the knowledge of Atma is concerned, even the sakshi bhasyatvam is not there because sakshi himself is Atma. So that aparoksha rupa sakshatkara, avyavahita means without any distance or intervention, avyavahita uttarajanyatvat. Immediately moksha is generated, moksha is revealed as a result of sakshatkara, which is aparoksha, which is immediate. There is no mediacy or distance. Kalantar bhavi adrushta phala niyoga janyatvam na. There cannot be niyoga janyatvam, there cannot be, this moksha cannot be something that is created as a result of apurva, which is kalantar bhavi, which takes place in future time. Anyatha mokshasya kalantar bhavi adrushta phalatvapatteh ityaha. Otherwise, moksha will fall in the category of that which is generated as it is apurva in future time, and this is what is being said, aha, apichaiti. So Bhashyakara says there, apicha brahma veda brahmaiva bhavati shiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare anandam brahmano vidwan na vibheti kutaschana abhayam vai janaka praptosi tadatmanam eva vedaham tadatmanam eva aved aham brahmasmiti tasmat tat sarvam abhavat tatra ko mohah kasyokah ekatvam anupashyatah इत्येवमाद्याश्रुतयः ब्रह्म विद्यानन्तरं मोक्षं दर्शयन्त्यः मध्ये कार्यान्तरं वारयन्ति इत्यादि श्रुतयः. All of these shrutis, Brahma Vidya Anantaram, immediately after Brahma Vidya, Moksham Darshayantyah. All the Shrutis show that moksha is that takes place immediately after the Brahma Vidya. Madhye Karyantaram Varayati. That between Brahma Vidya and moksha, there is no Karyantaram, there is no other Karya. All of these Shrutis show that moksha is that takes place immediately. Immediately means it is nothing but Ajnana Nivaranam. So moksha is something that is immediate as soon as the ignorance is removed. And that nothing else has to take place between removal of ignorance and occurrence of moksha. This is what all the Shrutis say here. Apicha Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. Says, Yo Brahmahamidi Veda Sab Brahmaiva Bhavati. Ratnabhava says, Yaha Brahmahamidi Veda. The one who knows I am Brahman becomes Brahman. Meaning that knowing and becoming is one. Those people are committed to becoming. So when there is a commitment to becoming in life, there is always karma involved. This also is a problem. Why perhaps the Vrittikara insists so much on this upasana or karma is this whole idea of becoming. A rejection of what is there at the moment, and therefore a need to become something that only can occur off by self-rejection. But then by karma you perpetuate that self-rejection because you always want to be in a different state and different condition. Says no, the self which obtains right now is not to be rejected. Itself is Brahman as it is. If you find yourself rejecting, it is only because you are superimposing something upon yourself. You are imagining something about yourself, and that is how that imagined self is being rejected, and not the self as it is. So Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who knows Brahman discovers the self to be Brahman. Bhavati means what? Becomes Brahma means discovers the self to be Brahman. Discovers himself to be one which he always wanted to become. So as a person is even born, there is always the desire of becoming. Because a constant dissatisfaction with the self as I am. So there is always the desire to become a complete self or an acceptable self. Everyone always wants to become acceptable. Because one does not accept oneself. So self non-acceptance is a fundamental, that is bondage. And to become an acceptable self, person does all kinds of things. Since from birth to death, from birth to birth, that whole process of performance of karma is nothing but a process of self-acceptance. I just want to accept myself. There is a tremendous need to accept myself. And therefore, I want to become bigger, better, taller, fatter, leaner, shinier, whatever. All that I am trying to become, a fat person may try to become even lean, and lean may try to become fat. I am underweight, therefore I want to become regular weighted, and I am overweight, therefore I want to become regular, whatever it is. But becoming. A person who is poor wants to become wealthy. Wealthy wants to become wealthier. Maybe he may want to become poor also, forget all this stuff, who knows. And thus, an ordinary subject wants to become king, and a king knows what all it takes to become king, and therefore he may want to become an ordinary person, who knows. But the fact remains that no one accepts oneself, regardless of what they are. Because the self that I find is always unacceptable self, regardless of what I do. And that self non-acceptance always makes me do things. And this is an endless thing, because when will I find myself acceptable? Never. What will happen to me then I will become acceptable? Or what will I get that I will become acceptable? Or what should be given to me, or what should I acquire in order to become acceptable? There is nothing that can make me acceptable. Only temporarily I may become acceptable, all right. If that acceptability depends upon other factors also being perishable and impermanent, that acceptability also is going to be impermanent. And therefore, acceptability is something to be discovered, which is a fact. This is what Vedanta says. You are already acceptable. Why do you worry? Why do you worry about things? I must do something to become acceptable. You do what you want to do. But first of all, see whether are you unacceptable or not. I'm a miserable wretch. Who is miserable? The body, maybe. The mind, perhaps. The intellect, maybe. Not you. Therefore, thus constantly superimposing these limitations of body, mind, intellect upon the self makes me an unacceptable self. And then I want to become acceptable. And therefore I want to do things. And that's how that bhavanam or becoming becomes a way of life. Except that the becoming is no end at all. Because what am I going to become? Whatever I become, I'll find myself unacceptable anyway. So Brahma Veda, Brahma Yabhavi, Brahmavid, Apnodi Param. It is knower of Brahman. So knowing that the self is acceptable is the only way to become acceptable. You can do upasana, no doubt about that. Or I am an acceptable self. Do that. That also will help. That constant self-rejection and condemnation makes you so miserable that tell yourself, I am acceptable because Shruti says, even if I don't say that. I am acceptable, I am fine because that's what Shruti says. That is called Shrutvanyebhya upasade. Alright? Let us do upasana that I am an acceptable self. So that can be called brainwashing, of course. But then we have Shraddha in Shruti. Therefore, if I do something which I don't believe in, then it becomes brainwashing. But then Shruti gives us enough reasoning to tell us what is unacceptable or what is limited is unacceptable. And what is limited is upadhi. And you are not the upadhi. So until this fact is discovered, one can do upasana. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, or Brahmaivahamasmi, or whatever you want to say.